What's up, YouTube? Scott, Scotting Tradition, back with another video. Hope you guys are all doing well. Been a couple weeks since my last video. Not a lot of pickups coming in, and I was actually sick a lot of last week. I think I had the flu bug, so it just kind of finally starting to get back from that. Just worked out for my second time today in a couple weeks, so just it's been a while. It's just one of those things where it just kind of takes a little bit out of you, and I'm still working my way back from that. So that wasn't cool. I did get a few pickups coming in, so I'll go through those with you guys quick, and then kind of talk about the Packers free agency stuff, uh, and maybe some of the free agency stuff as a whole that happened yesterday because it was a busy day in the NFL. Did get a couple Packers autos in. So I got the Jan Stenerud from 81 Tops autograph. These are cards I'm gonna send off to Garrett with his next full service PSA DNA sub. So this is Jan Stenerud's first year in a Packers uniform, so I was excited to get that one. Here is a Ron Wolf rookie card with an autograph on it. So that will be awesome to send that one in. Then we got a Tim Harris from 87 Tops. Nothing too huge here, just some cards that go with my Packers Team Hall of Fame autograph rookie card set. We got the Mike Mad Dog Douglas. So that's an awesome one to get there. Again, all relatively inexpensive. The one I spent a little bit on was this one. This is I'm trying to remember what year. This is 65, I believe. Philadelphia. This is the Elijah Pitts rookie auto. And Pitts passed away in the 90s, so he does not have a ton of autos out there. I think this card's only like Pop 2 at PSA DNA right now. So I was really excited to see. It's going to be kind of hard to pick up, I think, on the video, but it's actually a decent example of his auto. So real excited to get that one, paid up for it a little bit, and hopefully passes PSA DNA. I think it will, and will look great slabbed up. So I got 5 of those there, so that's awesome. We'll send those in at the next full service submission that Garrett does. So let's talk about free agency yesterday. What a whirlwind. So the first thing I hear in regards to the Packers is, earlier in the morning is that they're going to release David Bakhtiari. Was not unexpected. He had, over the last 3 years, he'd only played a small handful of games just because of his knee injury. And it's just a shame because, he got a great contract, was one of the best left tackles in football, top 3 for sure. And, all the numbers would definitely bear that out. Like, he's, from like Pro Football Focus standpoint, one of the best at his craft in football, from a technical standpoint. Just guys did not get around him. They did not get sacks. So the Packers gave him a big contract, and then what was it, like a week or two later that year in the playoffs, before the big playoff game against San Francisco, he tears up his knee, ACL, just in practice, and was never the same since. The knee basically never healed properly. He's had multiple surgeries on that knee since then, and finally it was just time to cut ties with David Bakhtiari. He's going to have some dead cap money this year, but they do save like $20 million in salary cap space by cutting him. So that one was not unexpected. But he was an absolute stud when he was healthy. 5-time All-Pro. Like, those are not any numbers to sneeze at there. Those are solid numbers, and it's the most important position, or at least one of the most important positions in football other than quarterback. So, sad to see him go, but basically just didn't play the last couple of years. So you want to save the space, and they had a couple guys, younger guys, kind of filling that role pretty well last year. Nyman a little bit early on, and then Rasheed Walker obviously has kind of taken the reins since then. So I do think it's something they'll probably address in the draft a little bit. Certainly they're going to address offensive line in the draft here coming up. But yeah, it was not surprised to see David Bakhtiari go. Then the next news that drops is the Packers bringing in Josh Jacobs. They signed him 4 years, $48 million are the numbers, but it really is a far more team-friendly contract than those numbers would say. I think he's only getting like 12.5 million guaranteed of that 48 million. So essentially, it's a 1 year contract, if you will. And if the Packers like what they see, Packers almost have that option to keep bringing him back, or they can cut him, basically. Um, which hopefully it works out. He didn't have the greatest year last year. Um, I don't think the Raiders had a good year overall last year, though. They were in a bit of disarray. So, we'll see if that has more to do with the Raiders as a team last year, or if Josh Jacobs is just kind of going downhill a little bit. But it was only 2 years ago he was like the best running back in football. So if he can get back to that those kind of numbers, would be great. I know he's had a little bit of injury issues here and there, but he is built a little more like the kind of running back you want in Green Bay. I think he's like 5'9", 225, so he's kind of that more stout build. Um, you hope he holds up a little better, but if he can get back to his running from 2022, that would be awesome. Only time will tell there. So they signed him 4 years, 48 million. But like I said, it really is more of a team-friendly deal. And I was like, all right, we got Josh Jacobs and Aaron Jones. This is going to be awesome. Basically, all reporting was that the Packers and Jones were going to work out a contract, and that they both wanted him. Jones wanted to be in Green Bay, and the Packers also wanted him in Green Bay. But the fact of the matter is, they were never able to meet on a contract. Jones is due I think 12 million in actual money this year, which was way more than the running back market would merit, unfortunately. So the Packers kind of shouldn't have probably done this contract with him in the first place, because they knew they were going to be up against it at some point. So you got Aaron Jones and the Packers, they're actually right in this. Their valuation of Aaron Jones was about $6 million a year. So I think the numbers came out that they offered him about $6 million, with incentives, and he signs with Minnesota Vikings for $7 million with incentives. So eventually, the Packers basically said, Jones, we need you. We'll be happy to have you, but you're going to play for $6 million. And Jones is like, well, I can't take that much of a pay cut. And the Packers are like, all right, go test the market. And the Vikings are basically like, we'll give you one more than the Packers were willing to give you. And so that's where he ends up. Obviously, Aaron Jones is going to do his thing, and he's got to do what he thinks is best. But from my standpoint, if I'm Aaron Jones, I would just take the $6 million. You're with quite frankly, a team that has showed they're going to be better. Minnesota Vikings don't even have a quarterback at the moment. So just for 1 million, I personally would not have jumped ship if it were me. Obviously, even the best of the best, and Aaron Jones is one of the best guys out there. Even the best of the best, egos get in the way sometimes, and he didn't want to take that big a pay cut. But at the end of the day, is he going to be happy playing for the Vikings with Sam Darnold as quarterback? They're probably more than a few pieces away from competing. So I find it strange that he goes there. I also find it strange the Vikings fetish with ex-Packer players. There's been many over the years. Most have not worked out, and certainly none have led them to a Super Bowl. It's just a little strange. So I don't like to see Aaron Jones playing for the Vikings, but the Vikings just can't help themselves, and they keep signing ex-Packer players. So Jones is gone. The Packers, at the end of the day, they get 3 or 4 years younger at that position. Josh Jacobs is 26, Jones is 30. And I was really not happy about this yesterday, but as I've had a day to reflect on it, Aaron Jones is 30 years old. He had 3 separate injuries last year. He had a hamstring injury in week 1 against the Bears. He kept him out till week 6. And then at some point he came back, and then he hurt his knee. We thought he tore a meniscus, which his knee obviously has some damage that's still in there already. So he's got damaged knees. He's got a crappy hamstring. And then he re-aggravated that hamstring towards the end of the year too. And that's a big reason why he couldn't tear away. If you remember that big run versus San Francisco, he got caught and he wasn't able to make it into the end zone because of his hamstring. It just gave away. And unfortunately, with a 30-year-old running back, it's the Packers' philosophy to cut a year too soon than a year too late. And as much as I love Aaron Jones, if he wasn't going to go play for the going rate, there's not much you can do about that. It just wasn't going to work out in Green Bay. And it's unfortunate. He'll always be one of my all-time favorite Packers, but and it's sad to see him go. But I just don't see any other way this would have worked out unless he would have taken way less money. So um, I'm definitely happy. I'm more okay with it today than I was yesterday with Aaron Jones. What can you say? Sad to see him go, but you can't keep everybody, unfortunately. Um, and then the last thing that happened was I think it was actually reported earlier in the day that Xavier McKinney was going to sign with the Eagles, and then apparently that was false news, and he ends up actually signing with the Packers, and Packers paying him quite a bit of money, 17 million a year. Definitely uh, pretty good money for a safety right there. But basically, they bring in Jeff Hafley, and Jeff Hafley's defense wants to really highlight the post safety, that deep safety that can really cover. And that's what he needs in this defense. And they went out and got him the thing that he needs, and that's Xavier McKinney. McKinney, was number one in coverage as far as Pro Football Focus goes last year. Number one safety in the league. Number three or four overall, I think he was last year, as far as safety rankings go. So Packers haven't had a guy like this since Nick Collins, or I don't know, maybe Micah Hyde in his last season. Who knows? But it's been a while since they've had a guy that can actually cover back there. So and you just don't find these kind of guys available much. 24 years old, safety. Packers just drafted the guy out of Iowa State last year, and he's 24 years old too. And so Xavier McKinney's been in the league for 4 years already, and he's only 24 years old. So these guys do not come available often, and I think that's a big part of the reason why they were willing to pay him. Just the numbers bared it out. Usually teams do not let these guys go that are so young and so effective on the field. I mean, that's exactly what you're looking for. Why would you let a guy go like that? That's kind of strange. So yeah, definitely, I was excited about the Xavier McKinney pick. That's something the Packers, they may still, the market with safeties out there is still pretty high, or there's a lot of them out there, so they may add another safety just for fun, at a little bit lower price. So I'm happy with the Xavier McKinney pick. That's pretty awesome. Then you got a couple other things. You got Kirk Cousins going to the Falcons. So now the Vikings probably looking to draft a quarterback in the draft. That's interesting. And then they bring in Aaron Jones, which I find a little strange for the Vikings, because they're not like in a win now mentality, yet they sign Aaron Jones for 1 year. It's a little strange. So I'm not sure what they're trying to do over there in Minnesota, actually. It's interesting. So yeah, a whirlwind of a day. There's going to be more, I'm sure, coming down at some point. I don't think everybody's done yet, but holy cow, Packers make some big signings and they lose a couple of people that have been there forever. Only one player on the team left from the Ted Thompson drafts, and that is Kenny Clark. Everybody else is a Brian Gutekunst draft pick or somebody that he's brought in trade. So just crazy. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Again, not a lot of pickups lately, but did get a couple things, but kind of just laying low, saving money, and I'm sure eventually I'll find something that I like. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll talk to you all again soon. Hope you have a great day. Thanks.